Hey, yo, Ran, turn that up.
Better learn how to bleed the blood of your whole body. Stay in the spirit. Cause Satan could use you if you let him. You cannot win, I see your trickery. We at the end, can't none of that get to me. Confessing my sin, I'm watching my energy. Scripts in my head, it hit me like Kennedy. I know the devil is trying to get rid of me. Walk in the spirit, so that mean I'm killing me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. You cannot win, I see your trickery. We at the end, can't none of that get to me. Confessing my sin, I'm watching my energy. Scripts in my head, it hit me like Kennedy. I know the devil is trying to get rid of me. Walk in the spirit, so that mean I'm killing me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. He been on my line since a younger was a child. Had me shooting guns, popping pills, smoking loud. I'm the main event, but I was following the crowd. Wish I would've known what I know right now. Mama ain't raised me like this. Had her yelling in the house like, where in the hell we go wrong? Mama, them curses couldn't leave us alone. We made an oath to the one on the throne. Them angels was with us, was never alone. Mercy and grace coming straight from the throne. When this was missing, I made it back home. Mama never had to give me a loan. He had to open my eyes, I had to put down my pride. Boy, I'm so lit, I'm alive. We gon' follow the Messiah. We gon' follow the Messiah. A shot, I'm a lick. A bought, a shot, Messiah. A shot, I'm a lick. How about some of Messiah? Ooh. You cannot win, I see your trickery. We at the end, can't none of that get to me. Confessing my sin, I'm watching my energy. Scripts in my head, it hit me like Kennedy. I know the devil is trying to get rid of me. Walk in the spirit, so that mean I'm killing me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. You cannot win, I see your trickery. We at the end, can't none of that get to me. Confessing my sin, I'm watching my energy. Scripts in my head, it hit me like Kennedy. I know the devil is trying to get rid of me. Walk in the spirit, so that mean I'm killing me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me.
Hallelujah. Blessed and highly favored. I love myself as well as my neighbor. Enjoy peace and love, yet I'm nothing to play with. Y'all running with the latest, what I believe is sacred. Our Father in heaven gave us eyes to see, to make distinctions between the psyops and the prophecies. I'm from a place where they downplay your atrocities, give you milk and cheese and never pay the proper fees. My brother's trying to calm the beast by copping pleas, but the only place the beast want the sheep is in his teeth. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, but don't mistake, that's for the sheep who fell away, that's not for you. A wolf knows he ain't in the dark about his plans. He coming for the flock, he want that blood on his hands, wants your throat not to breathe. In the lake of fire, he wants you to go beneath, praying on you until your flesh, he wants you to sow a seed. Deferred hope maketh the heart sick, yeah, Satan love it when you deceive. Disparaging remarks about our heritage and false narrative that said there's no merit to what we read, man. That gaslight like a flashlight. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. Y'all need to get that bag right. Wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. One hell of a ticket, pun intended, don't you say I cussed. We've been through enough, 400 plus. Our time is up, take off these cuffs. I've been in repentance for this lust, not with the porn, but I can swipe up an image and feel disgust. What? They think I'm tripping cause I want more for myself, so that even in my thoughts I'm not whoring myself, yeah. Luring myself away from righteousness with my desire. My right hand mislead me, cut it off like Michael Myers. Life is easy, it's just complicated by these liars. Truth is confiscated, to get it you need the God of Zion. They confuse the sheep with disbelief and self-reliance. Took the Father's name off creation and blamed the science. Hebrews never boarded but still became compliant. Mission aborted, some of us refuse to slay this giant. That talking head should be severed off and dead. Bring us Pentecost instead, let's start speaking with tongues of fire. They wanna preach to us, now the preaching coming from the choir. Y'all too corporate, tell me how does the preacher retire? I see y'all done bought the lies and y'all receipt expired. From the Holy Spirit, I don't never want no peace and quiet. The sheep hear the word of the most majestic, wonderful counselor, blessed voice of the shepherd. Mean Meanwhile, all of the goats are disconnected, lawless, trading the promise of the blessed for a death wish.
All right, shalom, 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 y'all, shalom. This is Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat, and we have a good show for you today. What I've been doing is I've been following this whole alien thing they got going on with the government. Been following it closely and following as it lines up with the word, with things that we see in the word. And as you can tell by the title, it is clear that aliens are demons. And some of the information that I'm going to bring out today is just going to drive that point all the way home. There's just a lot of information that I've come across just looking into this thing. And I mean, it's just clear the direction this thing's going. You can see how everything's unfolding. It's clear. So a lot of good information, a lot of new developments. And with my research, because what I was watching a lot of content from these. There's a group of men out there that at one point they were in this whole first encounter of the first, second, third, fourth, fifth kind. They would go around and interview people who had, alien UFO experiences, and then they became Christians. Then they went back and visited, and they realized that this thing was very demonic. And we're gonna really, we're gonna get into this. Now, if you haven't been, I don't know if you've been following news, but well, let's go back a little further. A couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I did a show titled the exact same thing it's titled now: Aliens Are Demons. And I was bringing out a bunch of this content, and then YouTube took it down. Okay, I think it was one of the news clips I used. Maybe I had it running too long. So what I'm gonna have to do on this show is I can't put the video up there the way I would like. So the way I'm gonna play some of this video is you're gonna hear the audio from the video, but I'm not gonna have the video up there on screen because I don't want to get clipped again. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're gonna have to do it for this show. I'm gonna cover some of the content I covered in the last show because I know a lot of people didn't get to see it. But I mean, that the one they took down was going real hard, and then and that's a whole nother thing where there's certain things that you can see they don't want certain truths they do not want to come out. And I can tell you one of the key pieces to this whole alien thing, because it's like a card house, but one of the foundational cards of that card house is that flat earth thing. That's why they came against it so hard. I mean, so vehemently, and literally pushed it off of YouTube. Only place you can really find stuff about like that out is on Rumble and everything like that. But anyway, let's go into what happened this week, or I think actually it was last week. Okay, David Grush, the highly decorated UFO whistleblower, he went before the Senate. Okay, or went for a hearing before the Senate or Congress or whatever they are. But he went and pretty much spoke on a lot of the same stuff he spoke on in the interview he did. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a clip from the interview he did, and y'all can let me know if you're able to hear it clearly, and if not, I'll move some stuff around, and you know the way I do over here. We'll get it going in the right direction. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna get my headphones set up. Make sure my audio sounds good. Okay, and we're gonna play this first clip, and y'all let me know in the comments there how the audio is, and then we'll keep it moving. All right, so that's what we're gonna have up there for a lot of this. But let's see.
Targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the U.S. government is saying...
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna turn it up. Y'all give me a sec. We're gonna get it to work right. It's gonna behave. Okay. All right, audio. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, I really cranked it up on there. Okay. So let's see how this comes out. Y'all bear with me. Okay. I'm gonna rewind it. Here we go.
Targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species?
Well, naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
It's also hard.
Of
All right. How's the audio on that, y'all? Y'all let me know in the comments. I know it wasn't the best. Matter. And let me fix my mic too. There we go. Okay. Now my audio should be better. Okay, so my audio should be better. All right, and I'm gonna play this again for y'all, and the audio on this should be better too. And this is good because it's getting everybody time to get on in there. Okay. Okay, so here we go.
We can have access to the.
Okay, that's much better. Okay, so now okay, so here we go. So what I'm gonna play is an audio clip off of uh, the interview that Dave did, and we're gonna get you up to speed on that. So here we go.
Targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone. Yeah.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
It's also hard.
All right, so that was Dave Rush coming on talking about that, saying it's true, talking about what he's seen, and in a nutshell, what happened, he was in a program set up to, you know, to research aliens and basically to kind of audit the government to make sure they were being forthcoming with information about it. And he had clearance designed to get him into anything, and he was denied entry into certain programs, and he just kept working at it. And then eventually, people came to him and began to tell him, "Yeah, this thing is real." They showing him stuff, telling them firsthand reports about what they had seen. Okay. And like I said, I'm just getting all the facts out of what's out there right now. And then we're gonna book it. We're gonna shine the light of the most high on this thing to really show you what it is. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, check out this one.
Okay. You stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
So right there, that's telling you a lot. If he says he can't comment on it in a public setting, that's already telling you plenty.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still in the program.
And was this documentary evidence, is video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
And a skiff is basically a briefing, and everybody in that briefing has whatever level of clearance that's required to be able to disclose whatever information they have. Okay. All right, so people are saying it's very hard to hear. Let me see if I can figure this out. Okay. Y'all give me a sec. All right, y'all. I got this thing cranked to the max, so we'll see. We'll see what it sounds like now. All right.
Okay, so, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't.
Okay. So, but anyway, you could see by the answers he's given to those questions that, okay, yeah, you could see by the answers he's given to those questions that something's going on. Okay. Let me show you one more thing that's going to start to take us in the direction we need to go to. And this is like a lot of stuff that, people would say was conspiracy theory and everything like that. Yeah, a lot of stuff that people would say was conspiracy theory and things like that. Now we're finding out it's the, it's the real deal. Okay. So listen to this here concerning the government. Okay. All right.
We can have access to those programs. And so the notion that we're not being given that access sort of defies our typical muscle memory here in Congress. Thank you, Mr. Burchell. I'll go back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Gates. Along those lines, Title 10, you may not know this or not, but Title 10 and Title 50 authorization, they seem to say they're inefficient. So who gets to decide this, in your opinion, in the past?
It's a group of career senior executive officials.
Okay, are they government officials?
Both in and out.
Do what?
Both in and out of government, and that's about as far as I
got you.
go there.
All right, well, that leads to my next question. Which private corporations are directly involved in this program? How much taxpayer money has been invested in these programs, to your knowledge? I mean, we know we audit the Pentagon every year, and I've been here 5 years, and they failed the dadgum thing every year. They lose over $1 billion a year, we think, and I was told the Department of Defense maybe 60% of their assets are unaccounted for, whatever the heck that means. In the public sector, you go to jail for that kind of crap. So tell me.
Yeah, I know when I'm $1 off for my DTS travel voucher, I get hammered, but seems like it doesn't work the other way.
If you sell over $600 worth of stuff on eBay now, you get a call from the IRS. So please, what corporations?
Yeah, I don't know the specific metrics towards the end of your question. The specific corporations I did provide to the committees in specific divisions, and I spent 11 and a half hours with both Intel committees.
Okay, so what they were what they were asking him, the important part was they were asking him, how are they keeping this secret? Like what's the thing? Like how are they doing this? And what he said is there's people in the government and out of the government who used to be in the government, and they've been in the government, some of these people, for long periods of time. So it might be congressmen and senators that have been in for a long time, and they're able to just keep these programs dark. They can keep certain people out of it. So, and now let's really go into, now it's speculation, but look, and I'm when we get into this further, it's gonna be clear. And we've heard all the rumors about this, but what I think, of course, there's an inner circle of government people who are straight up Satanists, and they got a tight inner circle, and they're able to keep people out that they don't want in on certain things. And it's the shadow government, and they're controlling things. So let me play this again so y'all can hear all this, okay? So let's listen to it again. Let's see, Dave. Okay, let's listen to it again.
We can have access to those programs, and so the notion that we're not being given that access sort of defies our typical muscle memory here in Congress. Thank you, Mr.
So what that guy was just saying was that they have the correct level of security clearance to get access to these programs. Okay, they have that they're qualified to access those programs, but they're not this, who they don't even know who it is. This shadow inner government is blocking them from entering it. Now listen.
Virgil, I'll go back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Gates. Along those lines, Title 10, you may not know this or not, but Title 10 and Title 50 authorization, they seem to say they're inefficient. So who gets to decide this, in your opinion, in the past?
Listen.
It's a group of career senior executive officials.
So a group of career senior executive officials. Okay, and of course, he run his mouth the wrong way, his life will be a wrap, you know. But you heard that. Now listen.
Okay, are they government officials?
Both in and out.
Do what?
He said, are they government officials? And he answered, they're both in and out. Okay? So again, it's all this stuff that people been calling conspiracy theory. Now you're seeing it firsthand that there is a inner group of people, and as we move forward with this show, you're going to see that these people have to be directly serving Satan. You're going to see some of this stuff I'm going to bring out, and you'll see what it is. Now, let's see what else he says here. I think that's all I wanted to.
Both in and out of government, and that's about as far as I
got
can
you.
go there.
All right, well, that leads to my next question.
And then his next question is money, because that what this guy says is I'm gonna play it all the way out, but what he says is the Pentagon is spending so much money and they don't even answer for it, and they can't account for it. Nobody knows where it goes. So listen.
Which private corporations are directly involved in this program? How much taxpayer money has been invested in these programs, to your knowledge? I mean, we know we audit the Pentagon every year, and I've been here 5 years, and they failed the dadgum thing every year.
So he's saying they fail their audit every year, okay, by large amounts of money. Listen.
They lose over $1 billion a year, we think, and I was told the Department of Defense maybe 60% of their assets.
So $1 billion a year lost. Don't nobody know where it went.
It's unaccounted for, whatever the heck that means. In the public sector, you go to jail for that kind of crap. So tell me.
Yeah, I know when I'm a dollar off.
All right, so and what Dave Grush talking about is his travel voucher. Like when I was in the military, you'd fill out your travel voucher, like, because, you know, we travel all over the place. I was an aircraft mechanic, so I travel around a lot. And when you come back to the base, you have to fill out your travel voucher. And if you off by a cent, man, they ready to crucify you. You know, so you can't make this stuff up. This is high level wickedness. But let's see. Okay, so I want to see if we ready to do the deep dive into this thing. Okay, on why we know aliens are demons. Let's get in it. Let's do the deep dive. We going in, y'all. Check this out. I want to pull something up for you. Okay, this guy here is Luis Elizondo. He was over ATIP, okay? The aerial anomaly, whatever. It's a UFO. Find out if there's anomalies out there program, similar to what Dave Grush was doing. They actually renamed the program, and the guy, Dave Grush, this Whistleblower guy, that's the program he was in. Okay? I'll show you the Whistleblower guy. Let me see. I got a picture of him here. That's him. I can put him on the screen now. Let me make it big so y'all can see it. So yeah, so that's Dave Grush there. That's him testifying before the Senate committee. And that was this week. This guy we're about to show here is Luis Elizondo. Let me pull him up. Okay. So this is Luis Elizondo. He too worked in the government. He worked for ATIP. It's called ATIP. And he left. He got out because he was getting denied access into everything. And basically he got frustrated with it. And like I said, you can look him up online and, you know, hear his whole story. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this video. I can't have this video I'm getting ready to play up here because I don't want them to block me. But what I'll do, let me see if I can put a picture of him up here maybe or whatever. But we'll just leave this up here for now. But listen, I want y'all, I'm going to play this video. This is going to show you his credentials, who he was. Okay, so listen.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Luis Elizondo spent 20 years running military intelligence operations worldwide, in Afghanistan, the Middle East, and Guantanamo. He hadn't given UFOs a second thought until 2008. That's when he was asked to join something at the Pentagon called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP.
The mission of ATIP was quite simple. It was to collect and analyze information involving anomalous aerial vehicles. What I guess in the vernacular you call them UFOs. We call them UAPs.
You know how this sounds.
Okay. Okay. And this is months ago. It might have been last year all that happened with him. I put that on here so I could play this, okay? Now, this is an interview he did on this guy, somebody's podcast. This is after he got out of the government and everything. And listen to what he says. This is interesting.
I remember the conversation very well. This is a person I respected tremendously, very, very senior person. He told me, he said, Lou, I want you to stop doing this. I said, okay, sir, I certainly can, but may I ask why? And he says, well, we already know what it is. Now, at that moment, I honestly thought maybe it was our own technology. I was running up against some super uber secret sap, and, they were telling me to stop. And I said, okay, sir, so it's ours? And he said, no, that's not what I'm saying. And he said, he asked me point blank, have you read your Bible lately? And I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that. And I said, well, sir, I think I know what it says, but where are you going with this? And he said, well, then you would know that these things are demonic and we should not be pursuing them. Yeah. And he wasn't kidding me, but that's exactly how he felt.
So this is a Pentagon, this is a Department of Defense official saying, stop looking at UFOs because they're demonic?
Correct.
You hear that? Now, there's a lot that goes into that. He said, we already know what they are. Okay? And this is, they said, a high-ranking Pentagon official. So he's in the program. They know what they're dealing with. Okay? So this, hey, they making it, these people are trying to make it obvious. Listen, I want y'all to hear this. It's funny because this guy here, Dave Grush, every time somebody says, okay, these aliens like from another planet, like anytime they even imply that, he makes sure he stresses the fact that they're probably not from another planet. Like nobody really wants to touch that and get into the religious thing of it, because that'll really shake everything up. Okay? But every time, it's interesting, every time, oh man, somebody said, unfortunately, the volume is too low. Man, this is crazy. You can't make this up. Y'all know the way I am. I gotta fix this. Can't have y'all struggling to hear me like that. Yeah, this is let me try something real quick. Percent. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me add. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm getting tired of this daggone bot. Hey, if this don't work, I'm gonna just do it again till it's perfect. Okay, so let's try it. Let me see. We're gonna play the same video over.
I remember the conversation very well. This is a person I respected tremendously, very, very senior person. He's told me, he said, Lou, I want you to stop doing this. I said, okay, sir, I certainly.
Okay, so that's good. I know that's good.
Can, but may ask why. And he says, well, we already know what it is. Now, at that moment, I honestly thought maybe it was our own technology. I was running up against some super uber secret sap, and they were telling me to stop. And I said, okay, sir, so it's ours? And he said, no, that's not what I'm saying. And he said, he asked me point blank, have you read your Bible lately? And I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that. And I said, well, sir, I think I know what it says. Where are you going with this? And he said, well, then you would know that these things are demonic and we should not be pursuing them. Yeah. And he wasn't kidding. That's exactly how he felt.
So this is a Pentagon, this is a Department of Defense official saying, stop looking at UFOs because they're demonic?
Correct.
Okay. So y'all heard that clear. So, and this is the stuff nobody really wants to talk about. Excuse me. And just to tell you, like that guy, that's the only time that dude came out and said that was in that interview. After that, he didn't say nothing about that anymore. Okay. The other thing I was saying is this other guy, Dave Grush, he always says this. Okay. So listen to this. Okay. Let's see. Okay, check this out. We're going to put this up. I got to share it, so y'all got to give me a sec. All right. So, where are you? Let me see if there's a better way I could do this. Make sure my audio's good, because the audio might go back down. Okay, we're going to just do it like this. So, window. Okay, so check this out. Let's see how this audio is.
U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical. Targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race.
Okay. Yep, that's not working. So just give me a sec. I promise this thing ain't gonna kick my ass. All right. Okay.
Of
And we have. Okay, so listen to this. Okay. And y'all know what I say about physics. Anytime you start hearing them talk about quantum physics, anytime you hear them start talking about, you know, any of these weird theories, think spirit world. And look, they cannot, nobody wants to come out. No one wants to be the person who comes out and says that. Okay. But you think spirit world anytime you hear this crazy talk that they talk sometimes. So let's put this up here. Get them up there. All right. So
of multidimensionality, that kind of thing, the framework that I'm familiar with, for example, is something called the holographic principle. It derives itself from general relativity and quantum mechanics, and that is, if you want to imagine a 3D object such as yourself casting a shadow onto a 2D surface, that's the holographic principle. So you can be projected, quasi-projected from higher dimensional space to lower dimensional. It's a scientific trope that you can actually cross.
So listen, y'all, anytime y'all hear interdimensionality, the only other dimension there is a spirit world. So when you hear this stuff coming forward, you know what they're talking about. You know what it is, okay? And listen, I mean, he's saying everything but they're demonic. Listen what he's saying.
Be projected, quasi-projected from higher dimensional space to lower dimensional. It's a scientific trope that you can actually cross, literally, as far as I understand, but there's probably guys with PhDs that we could probably argue about that.
But you have not seen any documentation that that's what's occurring.
Only a theoretical framework discussion. Yes.
If any of that went over.
Okay, so what he's saying, and let me get this off here before they start tripping on. Yeah, so what he's saying is the question they asked him, so what makes you think that these beings are not from, you know, another galaxy or another planet or something like that? And that's when he went into all that stuff, okay? Let me show you another example of him talking like that. And what I'm going to have to do, okay. All right. So on the show I did earlier, 105. So this is the show that I did a while back and they blocked it. Okay. So and listen to what he says on here. Okay. Because everybody's sitting here, nobody can figure out why these beings, why they're trying to keep this thing such a big secret so hard. And why people want to keep it secret, but it's like I said, if they knew the truth, if they really knew what it was, and it's, man, that Luis Elizondo interview and what he said in there, that really, that's trippy. That really shows exactly what we're talking about. And from the research I've done here, very soon there's going to be some, like they said, some pretty amazing stuff that's going to be coming out or whatever, But like I said, they're going to continue to try to push that deception. So, all right, listen to this. Okay, now this is on my old interview that they had deleted off, or not my old interview, but the old show that I did that, they blocked it. So I'm just trying to show as little of these clips as possible. Yeah, hopefully they'll leave my show up. Yeah. All right, so y'all give me a sec here. Tab. Okay, I got 2 of them. All right, so let's see. All right, so listen to this. And again, this is Dave Grush again, making sure that he lets them know, hey, this is interdimensional, not interstellar. All right, listen. Reason why these people are doing this is because they know there's something sinister about these beings. They know something's off. And they're like, interdimensional, higher dimension. They're like, yo, these is demons. Like, and they know it. But they know if they say that, they'll get took out too. That's what I think. But let's listen to him say that again. Listen.
Denote origin. I don't think we have all the data to say, oh, they're coming from a certain location. And I couch it as somebody who studied physics, where maybe they're coming from a different physical dimension as described in quantum mechanics. We know there's extra dimensions due to high energy particle collisions, etc. And there's a theoretical framework to explain that. Yeah.
Just let me cut to the quick though. You're saying there is an intelligence.
So I just wanted y'all to hear that again. Now he's gonna go into it a little more. Check this out. All right. All right, listen to this.
Well, we provided the proof internally to the Inspector General and the Health staff. We went into all the details. I mean, I have the credentials. I was an intelligence officer on the UAP task force.
But let's face it, allegations of aliens and their spacecraft are hard to accept, even coming from a respected insider. Even if you call them NHI and UAP, how could such NHI travel to Earth in the first place and go undetected by the general public? Grush says the craft may not be traveling through space as we understand it.
It is a well-established fact, at least mathematically and based on empirical observation and analysis, that there most likely are physical additional spatial dimensions. You could imagine in 4 and 5D space where what we experience as linear time ends up being a physical dimension in higher dimensional space, where if you were living there, you could translate across what we perceive as a linear flow. So there is a possibility that, and this is a theory here, I'm not saying this is 100% the case, but it could be that this is not necessarily extraterrestrial, and it's actually coming from a higher dimensional physical space that might be co-located, right here.
I mean, he tried. he said he's putting it out there for the people who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Like, yo, these things, he said, that might be co-located right here. Co-located. That means you're located in the same place and you just jumped over. Okay? So let's get into the meat of this, of what we're talking about here, because what I've been doing in the time frame between him doing this interview and then last week he did the Senate hearing and all that stuff, is I just been studying this thing. Just digging into this whole UFO and all this, and, you know, trip off this. I found out, because I was listening to this one guy. I actually got a video on here from him, L.A. Marzulli. I was listening to him and these other people, and all these guys, again, they used to be out there in the UFO community interviewing people who had encounters with UFOs and aliens. And then they became Christians. They began believing in the word, and they went back and looked, and what they found out is how heavily steeped the whole entire UFO community is in the occult, whether it's New Age, whether it's fortune telling, seances, and Ouija boards. Like, he was talking about one very popular alien encounter that happened way back in the day. I think it was in '64 or something like that. He was saying how the dude, the husband and wife, before they had went driving and had that alien encounter, they were playing around with a Ouija board. Okay. There's other people, they were talking about the similarities. They were talking about how these mediums are channeling aliens, like aliens are communicating with them when they meditate and they channel. Okay. The deeper I dove into this thing, I mean, you see how it's directly, it is, this alien phenomenon thing that's going on is occult. It's like deeply rooted. So the one guy was talking about how he used to go to the UFO conferences. And he said at these UFO conferences, you go to the vendor section, they got tarot card readers, fortune tellers, all this occult stuff going on there. He's talking about how a lot of people who had alien encounters, they were doing hallucinogenic drugs. Like, no matter what, they had something going on. So there was this one, the guy was talking about this one couple, and the dude had been abducted. He said, I got abducted, this, that, and the other. Okay. And he's talking about it with him. And his girlfriend started studying the word and started studying about how these aliens are really demons. So they were both in the car, and he started having an abduction experience where he said the alien had abducted him. He was up in the spaceship and all this stuff, and it was real. And the girlfriend saw him having this experience and touched his shoulders and pleaded the blood of Jesus on him, and it stopped immediately. He's like, what'd you do? How'd you do that? All this stuff like that. And she told him what she did. And there's like story after story after story after story of these types of things happening. Check this out. I want to show y'all gonna check this out. They have protocol. And I could put this up here. Hopefully they ain't gonna be tripping off this. But check this out. I'ma just let y'all check it out for yourself. I ain't gonna spoil it. Okay. Listen to this, y'all.
April 2020, just as the world was shutting down for the first time. An interesting documentary called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind appeared online. It claims that a group of people have figured out how to make contact with UFOs, and it promised to teach you how to do it.
My name is Serena DC, and I saw Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind the second it came out. I followed all of the instructions, and sure enough, I had my own life-changing contact experience. I wanted to learn more about Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, CE5 for short. So I reached out to Dr. Stephen Greer, the man behind the documentary, an advocate for all of these radical ideas. Dr. Greer granted me exclusive, never-before-seen access to one of his advanced workshops where he teaches his protocols. So my team packed their bags and headed straight for Oracle, Arizona. This is what happened.
Okay. So what they call it the CE5 protocol or something like that. And in a nutshell, what these people do is they all get together in a circle and meditate and so-called summon a UFO, and people see a UFO demon. You know what I'm saying? And like the demon be driving by in a flying saucer like this, be like, what's going on, y'all? Because they calling demon. And it's crazy because I was studying that, and I remember studying this a while back, and Satanists were sitting there saying, yo, that's the same thing we do for a seance. Like the Satanists was like, damn. So again, Satan is a deceiver. It says, for even Satan can appear as an angel of light. Like these things can turn into whatever you want them to be. All right, so check this out. This, let me put them up here. Some of y'all probably know who this is. Some of y'all might not. This is Aleister Crowley, okay? And they nickname him the wickedest man on earth or whatever. What this dude did is, this is back in like the 1920s or 30s. This dude went and found all the ancient occult religions and practices out there. He went and hunted all of them down, those religions, and learned them and practiced them. And he just went to any ancient pagan occult practice. He learned it and mastered it. And he ended up writing a book called Do It Thou Wilt, and some other book. And in that book, he, after going through all these ancient occults, he narrowed it down to the bare essentials of what it takes, the most efficient, effective way to get in contact with a spirit medium. Okay. We know a demon. Okay. So, that's what he did, and he put it in a book. Okay. And some of the stuff he said the quickest way to get in contact with a spirit is with drugs. Okay. Sorcery. The Bible calls it sorcery. Okay. Other ways he said to get in contact with these spirits is staring in mirrors. Another one is sex magic, which is just debauchery, sexual debauchery in a nutshell. I already said drugs is another one. An interesting one that he said is a very quick, efficient way of getting in contact with them is acting. If you talk to anybody who knows anything about acting school, all they do in acting school is teach you how to channel spirits. And I've actually talked to people who worked in Hollywood. They saw it for the evil it was. One person in particular, but I talked to him, and he would like, the dude wasn't going to any of the parties in Hollywood or nothing like that, and his career was stagnant. So what his agent told him, well, if you're not going to go to the parties and do all the crazy stuff, and what do they want you doing at the parties? Drugs. They want you doing drugs. Okay. He wasn't going to go to the parties. So he said, well, then go to acting school. And he went to the acting school, and that's what they were pushing. They trying to get you to open up and receive the character and blah, blah, blah. And they're getting you to channel spirit. Anyway, that was in his book. Well, the book this dude wrote is literally the Bible when it comes to Hollywood and to the music industry. And that dude there, Aleister Crowley, any artist with any staying power, any artist that's just in there like that, practices what he teaches, and they acknowledge him. And I can't tell you the number of artists. I got this article here. I'm going to put it up here. And I'm going somewhere with it. You could believe that. Okay. So there's an article about him that says how the wickedest man in the world influenced 6 of your favorite artists. It's way more than 6. Okay. But Led Zeppelin, what you see right here is the cover of the Beatles album. And if you look at it, he's on there. This is him right here. Aleister Crowley right here. I mean, he's not in the middle of it like this. They did that for this article. But over here, the top left, he's in there. That's him on there. Michael Jackson has Aleister Crowley on one of his album covers. And in the other hand, there's a child in his hand. Okay. Michael Jackson practiced a lot of his stuff. Michael Jackson made songs about some of the stuff like I'm staring at the man in the mirror, that song. So a lot of homage he paid to him. Red Hot Chili Peppers. What's that dude? That one dude wrote that song, Mr. Crowley. What's that dude's name? Yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic. That's a song they made. They in the demonic. Their artist was staying power. Jay-Z was wearing a shirt with one of his sayings on it. You go on and on. Led Zeppelin, I think they slept in his house or something like that to get his spirit or some crazy crap. David Bowie, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne made a song dedicated to him in 1981, Mr. Crowley or whatever, whenever he came out with it. Yeah, I mean, he's heavily influenced hip-hop also. But anyway, I wanted to say that to get to this point. I just giving y'all, trying to like put some little history out or whatever. But listen to what he did. He he was doing all these rituals he was doing, and he said one day a spirit being or spirit God manifested himself to him, revealed himself. And this is a picture of what he drew in his book of what it looked like. And like I said, he drew this back in the 30s or something like that. Look, what does that look like? What does that look like? Yeah. Oh, and somebody said, dang, Michael Jackson. Hey, look, y'all don't, man, I have to do a show on that, man. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get how thoroughly, consistently, solidly wicked the music and the movie industry is. And when I say it, there is a, whatever you want to call that, like a glass ceiling with a clear boundary of entering into the music industry that, and like I said, I'm telling you, you're going to serve Satan up in that thing. Michael Jackson was like heavily serving Satan. Check this out. The other way Aleister Crowley said you would meet a spirit being and get in contact with spirit mediums and guides is through dreams. Why you think Michael Jackson liked to be put to sleep and all that stuff he was doing to come up with them songs? Yep, Brother Gideon said Sammy Davis Jr., he was a Satanist. He's a straight Satanist, man. Yo, these Elvis, boy, they said Elvis was so wicked. They said he would get mad and you could feel the room change with the spirits on him. Yeah, I don't know, man. And like I said, I've had eyewitness testimony. I've known people, interviewed them on this show that have been in the movie industry, in the music industry, tell me firsthand, yeah, it's demonic. Like, even when I talked to Jason Whitlock, that's why he left Hollywood. Like, he's seen it. Yeah. Hey, these people are highly wicked. But anyway, we're staying on topic. I'll do a show on that. But this entity here, this is what he saw. Okay. And it looked just like that alien I put on my, on my thing on the thumbnail for this video. Okay. So they said after, because this dude did, like, you watch some history on this dude, he did a lot of demonic work. And there was something where they said he opened a portal. Something happened right near the time he died, to the point where they said he left the portal open. And soon after that, all these so-called alien encounters were happening, Roswell, all this stuff like that. So that's something interesting, to look in if that's what you're into, And the thing for me, I've always been like a tech into technical stuff. That's just, that's why I went in the Air Force, because I like technical stuff and all that stuff like that. So I was always into space and aliens and all this stuff. And man, this is just mind blowing, like the level of the deception that's out there, where I was deceived, but the Most High, and it's gonna be critical that we stick to His word in the coming days, weeks, and months. Check this out. This is interesting. You gotta wonder what the percent share. Let me get this up here for you. Now look at this. NASA hired 24 theologians to study human reaction to aliens. In a nutshell, they want to get these people who, these theologians, they don't understand the Bible, and they get them to buy off on it. They get everybody else to believe in it. And again, studying the word, and then studying this whole alien thing, you see what these demons have to do is get people to believe they're real so that they can bring themselves forth. Because there's I had heard, or it's something I watched, where this dude was saying he went to a military base, and in order for him to go down in a certain area in this secret base, he thought it was strange where they told him, and you can't say God or Jesus. You can't even say God damn it or anything like that. If you come down, he's like they literally had him sign something to promise that he would not say that. And that's a testament of how powerful, literally the word of the Most High is, and the power in Jesus's name. And again, it's like the dude was when I was studying all these encounters these people had, and when I say studying it, I was watching these guys' videos who used to be into it, and then they came into Christianity, and they were just talking about how what they do now. People come to them who have these alien encounters because it torments them. It's not an enjoyable experience. These things torment them and bother them, all this stuff, and they don't know what to do. One dude was suicidal. They said a lot of people are suicidal, and they just go through with them. They have them get rid of any demonic stuff, give their life to Christ, everything like that. And they said this stuff never happens again. So it's interesting. Hey, if y'all got any questions, definitely put them in there. Somebody said, who is the he in all of this? So who is the he? So one person I was talking about was Aleister Crowley. Okay, that was one person. Okay. As far as I was just talking about that recently. And then the main thing we're talking about is just these so-called alien disclosures, and how all the evidence points to the fact that these are demons, clearly. The way they're moving, the way they're operating, Yeah. Let me see what else I got here. Let's see. Okay, check this out. So there's just a lot of interesting stuff. So one of the things the guys that was very interesting, and y'all might have a good reason for this, but what the guy was saying, he said at the alien conventions, he said you don't see any black people there, almost never. It might just be a person curiously running through, but he said he never runs in to black people having alien abduction experiences, And he's like, you gotta wonder what the hell, why not? It's like, like with an alien, like I don't want they black asses up in my ship, Is it that? No, I don't think it is. I think what it is that these demons they have other ways that they're working on deceiving us and misleading us and destroying us. But I'm going to say this also. Nowadays, you see a lot of black people are getting into the New Age. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of them getting into the new age, getting swept off and all that crazy stuff. All that meditation stuff and ancestor worship and all that. But what it is, and again, this guy Dave Grush, man, he really knows something. Look, these things really, they're watching us. So they know. They know how to tempt each person to get them away from the Most High, get them into unbelief. And the other interesting thing they said is that the guy said, and this is the UFO interviewers. Okay, that's who I'm talking about. It's a bunch of people who used to interview UFO abductees or whatever, people who had contact with aliens and UFOs. And then they came into Christianity, got saved and everything, started believing in the Bible. But another interesting thing they said is that these other countries don't have UFO experience, like Africa and a lot of these other countries. They don't have, this stuff doesn't happen there. And it just testifies that, yo, these demons know exactly who to go after. They know how to seduce them and make them think, oh, we got this technology and all this stuff like that, you know. But, yeah, man, it's a lot. All right, let me see what else I got here. So very soon, though, a lot more information will be coming out, and you know. All right, let me see. I got some more stuff here. Okay. Oh, I gotta go to. How can I forget? Check this out. All right. All right, this might be the right part. Let me share this and get this up there. I might have to go forward a little more. So we're going to put this up here and see. All right, so check this out. And again, this is from the show I did a couple weeks ago that they deleted. That's why I'm having to play it like this. Okay, let's see.
Rush says the US has gleaned some insight from these materials for military use. So much more could be done if academia and the private sector had access.
All right, listen to this. Listen what they're going to say here. Listen.
It's totally nuts that humanity as a whole, especially, the U.S. citizenry as a whole, they're not even benefiting from broad research on this to solve, propulsion, energy issues, novel material science that can improve people's quality of life. It's just totally nuts how it's been protected and inhibits progress.
If you're right, if you're telling us the truth, everyone, the entire American public, has been lied to for decades.
And that's no surprise. I mean, but I had rewound it back too far, but they're getting ready to go into it in a couple seconds here. I want y'all to hear this.
Yeah, there's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical.
All right, now check this out. Y'all are going to get even better. Okay? Listen to this.
And immoral. Coming up, how long has this been going on?
A lot of the things I was briefed on were very shocking. 1933 was the first recovery in Europe, in Magenta, Italy. They recovered a partially intact vehicle.
It's long been known that the regime of dictator Benito Mussolini documented numerous UAP during this time. This internal memo from the Italian Secret Services includes crude drawings of the UAPs. It's
So,
true. It's real.
Yeah, that actually happened. Italian government moved it to a secure air base in Italy for the rest of kind of the fascist regime until 1944, 1945. And, you know, the Pope Pius XII back-channeled that.
So the Vatican was involved.
Yeah, and told the Americans what the Italians had, and we ended up scooping it.
So let me be very clear about it.
so the Pope, the Vatican, they know about all this stuff. I mean, is that a surprise? You know, it's just it's a deception. And like I said, we got to, you know, at the end of the day, you know, as you go through this stuff, and like I said, I was studying, and it wasn't until like I heard these guys, and these guys have been teaching this stuff for years, that these aliens are demons, because they've been going around interviewing the people who've had the alien encounters, and they see the consistency in certain things. And one of the interesting things, and I'll put that on that this will be a good one. I put this on in the last show I did. One of the interesting things. Now, it's like these alien, what you see, these things that call themselves aliens, it's like they conform, like even the design, what the ships look like, conform to the time that they're in. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. It's like the alien ships from the 70s, the so-called alien sightings and stuff like that, they look like something from the 70s or whatever, or from the 60s or 50s or 40s. And it's like, but the big thing is like the message that these things are coming with, okay? They're like, yeah, we done traveled all the way across the whole galaxy. And that's what I'm talking about in this clip right here. Listen to this. Share it up there. All right, check this out, y'all.
I'm so mainstream. So that's the evolution connection to it.
Because all the signs are here. All the signs are here. And what's coming, signs in the heavens, signs on the earth, what is coming is unprecedented. And it will cause, in my opinion, this great deception, which says that E.T. created all life on earth, that E.T. Genetically manipulated us, that E.T. started the world's civilizations, that E.T. created all the world's religions, and now, at this critical juncture in human history, E.T. has come to give us a DNA download, upgrade.
And again, isn't it interesting that all of these researchers seem to concur that these aliens want to come and give us spiritual messages?
I want you to know that God isn't personal, he's a force. And Jesus is not the Savior. I mean, he's just a more highly evolved being than I am. I've heard about him, I haven't seen him yet, but he's on a higher plane. And on it goes. Spirit survival. No, Dad, there's no judgment. God doesn't judge you. You don't face him in judgment. We just move into graduate school and we continue to learn our lessons, you know, and progress and so forth.
So what he's talking about, the people who've had encounters with these so-called aliens, these are the things that they're coming and telling them. So these guys, they, like, again, they interview hundreds and thousands of people who have these encounters, and they see the same stuff. You know, it's literally they're saying the same stuff. And it's like, why would you travel all the way across the galaxy to tell me that? You know, and it's crazy, and they're gonna say it in here, but like when you hear the message, when you hear the New Age message, it's, and then even when you hear the message in some of these super duper watered down churches, it's a New Age type message. It's about meditation and all this stuff. When you listen to what Buddhism teaches, when you listen to what Hinduism teaches, I'm getting ready to say the same thing in here in this video, but it's all the same message. The message that aliens come with is all the same message. You know what I'm saying? And it just, it don't line up. It's totally against the word, But what they're doing is lining up with the word, is lining up with end time prophecy. And I was watching something. They were just saying how quickly, Ronald Reagan said it back in there. Oh, how quickly we'd all come together if there was some alien threat, this, that, and the other. And that's the goal of these things, is to get everybody to come together, come up under one leader and all that stuff like that. So I haven't researched all that out yet, but this is where I'm at with everything right now. Let me see what else I got, if I got anything else. All right. Yes. Yeah, so if y'all got any questions, definitely put them in there. Let's see what y'all in there talking about. Make sure you put a question mark on it though, otherwise I won't see it. Somebody said, I agree. They want to introduce demons as interdimensional beings. They want you to believe in them, but they don't want that belief to incorporate any spiritual aspect. They want it to be scientific. Yeah. Yep. But the scientific, like even the science now, the leading on the leading edge of science, even in the science now, it's so, the science is so pointing to the Most High, it don't make sense. Like they can't explain nothing in science. They're more confused than they ever been, even though they know more. It just showing how little they know as they get into this thing. You notice you don't hear anybody talking about Darwinism and all this evolution stuff, because if you follow the leading edge of quantum physics and particle physics and all that, ain't no way anything could have evolved. They know it. Like, it's stupid to say it now. Now, you got people who don't know all the new developments in quantum physics, particle physics, all that stuff like that. But as it becomes mainstream, these people cannot sit there and try to disprove God like they have in the past. They know this thing, but now what are they moving towards? Hologram universe, interdimensional beings. And yeah, they're interdimensional beings and this, that, and other. Bro, like, how long y'all gonna keep the stupidness going? The stupid game. You know what I'm saying? How long y'all gonna keep that going when y'all, it's evident, There you go. Brother Gideon said, I tell you what they want: to steal, kill, and destroy. That's their task or mission. Task, organization, mission. I think that's what you said there. Yeah, that's what they want to do, is steal, kill, and destroy. That's it. And again, as you like, if you listen to L.A. Marzulli, there's a couple other guys that study that. Just they literally, their whole thing is they watch this thing, and it's like, it's clear this alien thing it's not a deception for everybody. It's only for a certain group of people where it's deceiving them. Now I think it's gonna get bigger, but yeah, because it's funny. I asked because Corey ain't into all this. The tech stuff and all that, and I was like, Corey, so why ain't you looking into this alien stuff, that interested about it? She's like, I just trust Jesus, and I know they ain't gonna come around me because I'm focused on Jesus. And that's all she need to know. That's all anybody need to know. For me, of course, this is stuff I was into my whole life growing up. And now to find out it was all deception, it's like, man, it's mind blowing. But, you know, this isn't nothing. This here, this alien thing is not, should be nothing to worry you brothers and sisters. All you need to do is just stay focused on Yah, because look, these things ain't even coming around the people of Yah. They don't want none of that. They don't want that bit. They don't want that type of them types of issues. You know what I'm saying? So, but you see, one of the questions they asked David Grush, it was either in the interview or when he was before the Senate, that during that hearing, is the government in contact with him? Are they talking to these things? And man, I think, man, I think they know what they are now, and there's a close circle group of them that are in allegiance to them, like totally obedient to them, everything. And it's funny, what's his name? Jimmy Carter. You might be able to look it up and find that story where they talk about Jimmy Carter, how when he ran for president, one of the things he ran on was alien disclosure, and how he wanted to know if there were aliens, and he wanted to find this thing out. And they said he got elected, got in office, and he said, I want my alien briefing. I want to know whether there's aliens. They told him that's on a need to know basis, and you don't need to know. And he was like, oh man. So a year or so into his presidency, a situation came up and he had a need to know. And they went and gave him his briefing on what's really going on. And there was a general or somebody in the room. He couldn't hear what was being said to Jimmy Carter, but he said after they got done giving him his briefing, Jimmy Carter was just like, just sitting there like looking crazy, like what the hell? And he wasn't looking like he would look if they said, oh yeah, they don't exist, we don't have anything. It was like they told him something that like must have really crushed him. And what he suspected they told him is like, yeah, they've been in contact with these aliens, but they're not aliens. They're really spiritual entities. And like I said, you saw what they told Lou here in his briefing. I see a lot more of y'all are here. Let's play that again. We're gonna play his briefing. And like I said, the guy in this video used to be over ATIP. That's the alien detection program where they hunt this stuff down and all that. He resigned from it. But look what a high-ranking Pentagon official told him, who was in the know, who knew this program. Y'all listen to this again.
I remember the conversation very well. This is a person I respected tremendously, very, very senior person. He's told me, he said, Lou, I want you to stop doing this. I said, okay, sir, I certainly can, but may I ask why? And he says, well, we already know what it is. Now, at that moment, I honestly thought maybe it was our own technology. I was running up against some super uber secret SAP, and they were telling me to stop. And I said, okay, sir, so it's ours? And he said, no, that's not what I'm saying. And he said, he asked me point blank, have you read your Bible lately? And I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that. And I said, well, sir, I think I know what it says. Where are you going with this? And he said, well, then you would know that these things are demonic and we should not be pursuing them. Yeah. And he wasn't kidding. That's exactly how he felt.
So this is a Pentagon. This is a Department of Defense official saying, stop looking at UFOs because they're demonic?
Correct.
So there you go. Now check this out. I'm gonna show y'all one more thing that we need to bring out, because again, this drives in everything I've been saying, because I think that these things have seized control of the governments of the world. There was something that was said during the Senate hearing where, you know, they were saying how they have this thing worked out with Russia concerning this stuff and all that. So, but let me show y'all something else that will be very good, if I can find it. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna have to go back. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna play some of these videos. So here's the one of President Reagan and him talking about this stuff. And this stuff will build up to what their in game is. And like I said, y'all coming in, I gotta play these videos in this fashion, make them all small. Well, this one I don't, but some of these I have to make them real small because they'll flag my video, my channel, and pull it down. So that's why they pulled this video down. This is the video I did about 2 or 3 weeks ago that they yanked off. All right, listen to old wicked ass Reagan. Listen to him. Hold on.
Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose.
So that's all right. And one of the things they talked about was how the presidents that know, like they were saying, what's that dude? Trump knows. You know, they were just talking about all the people who know. Let me play this video for y'all. All right, here it is. Now listen. So this is the guy. This is a video where the guy calls into the radio station. Y'all might have heard this, but for those of you who didn't, it's interesting. Listen. Oh, and listen to this caller who calls in, okay? And then watch what happens. Listen.
You want to call up and sing? It's going to be your night to sing. It'd be fun to see if we get any calls. On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharged.
So what just happened? Hold on.
I started getting.
So what just happened is their whole entire radio station
Well,
shut down.
this was certainly interesting. We are now on a backup system, everybody. A backup system. And that one caller that I had on the air, I guess we were about in the middle of his transmission, his telephone call, which was one of the strangest ones I've ever had. And the entire transmitting system by satellite went down here. And we were notified we were off the air. And it would appear to be from this end and some sort of massive transmit failure. So we are now using a backup system to be on the air. And not that I would normally believe this kind of thing, mind you, but I can't help but wonder if somebody zapped us in some way. We'll find out.
So, you know, I come across a lot of stuff, but, you know, the way I evaluate whether somebody's credible or not, if it line up with the book, like what he's saying. And like that whole scenario right there, you know, he called into the radio station and then all the power went out on the radio station. And the dude said they're going to be triangulating in on my position here soon or whatever. So, yeah, you know, I think it's, you know, that was an interesting one. That was an interesting one. Let me see if I got anything else. I think that's about all I got. But at the end of the day, we keep the commandments and serve Yah. Stay locked into that word, because as you can see, a lot of deceptions coming, you know. And one of the things I wrote down for my show today is why, you know, why now? And you think about it, man, look how wicked this world is getting. Like look at it. Look how just far away from Yah everything has gotten, you know. It's, yeah, that's why now. They're waiting for the right time. And it's just, like I said, it's just more sign, another sign of the time. But like I said, a lot more information is going to be coming out soon. I keep an eye on it, but I'm telling you, once I did all this studying and I was seeing how deeply steep the whole UFO thing is in the occult, like all these people who go to these Roswell festivals and these UFO conferences and all that stuff, like how heavily steeped all that is in the occult. It's literally a part of the occult. Like these people who had these alien abductions, you know. And, you know, once I seen all that, I was like, it's pretty obvious what this is, you know. But, yeah, that's what it is. Let me see. Let me go. So, yeah. But that's what I want to do. My whole purpose is to bring out some of this stuff that I had on my show. And, you know, here soon I'll be doing a show talking about the biblical cosmology. Okay, the biblical, how the Bible says everything, where we live, what it is, what that is up above us, you know, the whole layout of so-called, what they call space and the sky and the different parts of the atmosphere and everything like that. And, you know, because what you find is, again, it's a whole, this whole thing is a massive deception plot. It all ties in, you know. The flat earth thing ties directly in with these so-called aliens that are demons, you know what I'm saying? And you just see everything ties in, and if you ground it in this word, you see what their master plan is and what they're working towards. Because the word gives you that prudence on situations like this. So, but anyway, y'all, with that said, we are about to wrap this up. Let me see. And I definitely appreciate all y'all tuning in. I see a lot of people tuned in. You know me, I'll be keeping a close eye on this. And here soon, you know, I'm going to be having another very interesting show on, like I said, the cosmology and how that ties in. And, you know, we're going to back it up with book. But with that said, y'all, I want y'all to make sure that y'all like, subscribe. If you got any questions or anything, definitely put it in the comments. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. You watching Spiritual Combat, and shalom, shalom.
Turn that up. Better learn how to bleed the blood of your whole body. Stay in the spirit. Cause Satan could use you if you let him. You cannot win, I see your trickery. We at the end, ain't none of that get to me. Confessing my sin, I'm watching my enemy. Them scripts in my head, they hit me like Kennedy. I know the devil is trying to get rid of me. Walking the spirit, so that mean I'm killing me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. You cannot win, I see your trickery. We at the end, ain't none of that get to me. Confessing my sin, I'm watching my enemy. Them scripts in my head, they hit me like Kennedy. I know the devil is trying to get rid of me. Walking the spirit, so that mean I'm killing me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. He been on my line since a younger was a child. Had me shooting guns, popping pills, smoking loud. I'm the main event, but I was following the crowd. Wish I would've known what I know right now. Mama ain't raising like this, had her yelling in the house like where in the hell we go wrong. Mama and them curses can leave us alone. We made an oath to the one on the throne. Them angels was with us, was never alone. Mercy and grace coming straight from the throne. When this was missing, I made it back home. I would never had to give me a loan. He had to open my eyes, I had to put down my pride. Boy, I'm so lit, I'm alive. We gon' follow the Messiah. We gon' follow the Messiah. Messiah. I'm a lick. I'm born. Messiah. Messiah. I'm a lick. How about some of Messiah? Ooh. You cannot win, I see your trickery. We at the end, ain't none of that get to me. Confessing my sin, I'm watching my enemy. Them scripts in my head, they hit me like Kennedy. I know the devil is trying to get rid of me. Walking the spirit, so that mean I'm killing me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. You cannot win, I see your trickery. We at the end, ain't none of that get to me. Confessing my sin, I'm watching my enemy. Them scripts in my head, they hit me like Kennedy. I know the devil is trying to get rid of me. Walking the spirit, so that mean I'm killing me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me. Get it behind me, I don't want you feeling me.
Hallelujah. Blessed and highly favored. I love myself as well as my neighbor. Enjoy peace and love, yet I'm nothing to play with. Y'all running with the latest, what I believe is sacred. Our Father in heaven gave us eyes to see, to make distinctions between the psyops and the prophecies. I'm from a place where they downplay your atrocities, give you milk and cheese and never pay the proper fees. My brother's trying to calm the beast by copping pleas, but the only place the beast want the sheep is in his teeth. Father, forgive them for they know not what they do, but don't mistake, that's for the sheep who fell away, that's not for you. A wolf knows he ain't in the dark about his plans. He coming for the flock, he want that blood on his hands. Wants your throat not to breathe. In the lake of fire, he wants you to go beneath. Praying on you until your flesh, he wants you to sow a seed. Deferred hope maketh the heart sick. Yeah, Satan love it when you deceive. Disparaging remarks about our heritage and false narrative that said there's no merit to what we read, man. That gaslight like a flashlight. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. Y'all need to get that bag right. Wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. One hell of a ticket, pun intended. Don't you say I cussed. We've been through enough, 400 plus. Our time is up. Take off these cuffs. I've been in repentance for this lust. Not with the porn, but I can swipe up an image and feel disgust. What? They think I'm tripping cause I want more for myself. So that even in my thoughts I'm not whoring myself, yeah. Luring myself away from righteousness with my desire. My right hand mislead me, cut it off like Michael Myers. Life is easy, it's just complicated by these liars. Truth is confiscated, to get it you need the God of Zion. They confuse the sheep with disbelief and self-reliance. Took the Father's name off creation and blamed the science. Hebrews never boarded but still became compliant. Mission aborted, some of us refuse to slay this giant. That talking head should be severed off and dead. Bring us Pentecost instead, let's start speaking with tongues of fire. Ain't wanna preach to us, now the preaching coming from the choir. Y'all too corporate, tell me how does a preacher retire? I see y'all done bought the lies and y'all receipt expired. From the Holy Spirit, I don't never want no peace and quiet. The sheep hear the word of the most majestic, wonderful counselor, blessed voice of the shepherd. Meanwhile, all of the goats are disconnected, lawless, trading